that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still wanna think our history started when we were slaves? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like I ain't.
Peace, family. This is your brother, King Cam, and welcome to another episode of the Campaign TV Show podcast, where we have real discussions with real people. I need everybody that's joining us from Facebook to share this out to as many people as possible. We want to get as many people in the room. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the effect of violence on black youth. The effect of violence on black youth. Now, we won't be long tonight, but we will be strong. I'm going to say that again. We won't be long tonight because it is kind of late, but we will be strong. And what I want to do is I want to pull up a video where Wallo recently did an interview with Lil Durk on $1 Million Worth of Game. And on that interview, he highlighted some things that he had did in his past when he was younger that could have had a extreme impact on his life moving forward till this day. Like, he talked about how there would not be any of $1 million worth of game. There wouldn't be Wallo the inspiration. There wouldn't be anything that you see now. You wouldn't have that if he had made and followed through on some of the decisions that he was faced with when he was younger. So I want to talk about that and also highlight, and discuss how violence has an effect on our black youth, because it's very, very key. So let me go ahead and pull that up, family. I need y'all to like, share. I need you to push this out as much as possible. We're only streaming on Facebook right now. The reason why we're only streaming on Facebook is because I haven't learned how to multi-stream via YouTube. So I'm using Ecamm, and I don't know how to multi-stream. So anybody that want to help your brother out, please reach out and help your brother out as it comes to Ecamm. All right, so let me go ahead and get this video pulled up, man. This was really, really eye-opening for a lot of people because, we see a lot that's going on in the community, and a lot of the elders come and speak to the youth about what's happening, but they don't really speak from a perspective of experience. Maybe they have experience, maybe they don't. If they do have experience, they're not speaking from it. And that's why the youth not feeling nothing, nobody talking about when they come to them, if you're not talking about exactly what it is that they going through. And they know that you real about what you saying. That's why it's extremely important, family. You can't come to our young people just any kind of way, because this is a special generation. And this special generation sees right through the BS. So you can't come trying to condemn them, trying to judge them, trying to tell them to do better and not giving any examples. All right, so let me go ahead and get this pulled up, man. Okay, cool. All right, got the video downloaded. So look, Sunday when we did the show, your brother I wasn't able to have no sound. But hopefully I figured out the sound problem after that. So now, let me see if I can get this pulled up and see if we got some sound. If we got sound, we rocking and rolling, family. Appreciate everybody that's watching. Like I said, I'm not going to be long tonight because I know it's late. But I really, really wanted to speak on this because I thought it was very important. So let me go ahead and hit this button. Boom. Yep, that's what I want. Now let me make this bigger. All right, cool. Now y'all let me know if y'all can hear this.
Nigga that killed my brother. My brother died in my grandma's arms. In that fucking house. Then we.
Let me know. Can y'all hear that? Let me get the comment section pulled up. Can y'all hear that? Good evening, Sister Cassandra. Can y'all hear the video? Boy, I can't even. Can y'all hear the video? Oh, Sister Cassandra said the sound is good. All right, family, the sound is good. The sound is good. And while we in the process of doing this, I need everybody to go to your Facebook right now. I need y'all to share this out on all your platforms. I'm about to do the exact same thing on my platform as well. But we want to try to share this out to as many people as possible because this information is important. I think it's affecting a lot of our young people. And I want as many people to hear it as possible. I mean, that's just what it is. So I need y'all help. So Sister Cassandra, I need your help. Need you to go ahead and share this out. I'm about to do the exact same thing. Let's get on our Facebooks. Let's spread the word. Let's spread the word. All right. And in the process of that, while we spreading the word, I'm going to drop this record by my brother Ben X called 400 Years. I want y'all to tap in while we go ahead and do a little promotion. I'm sorry, this is the Boom record, not the 400 Year record. This is Boom. Boom by brother Ben X.
We used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom. We used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Little devils prayed for my doom, won't apologize for the boom. To answer your question, I'm rapping, I'm wrecking. Yeah, mixtape coming soon. You didn't expect me to fly, really don't know why. Got it by the most high, ain't even gon' lie. Yeah, God made me a star, then he blessed me with a car. That's a clean black fit, yeah, he making me a vid. My brother tried to throw shade, we ain't even got dead. Hating cause I'm getting paid, the teachings got a brother said.
It gives me pain, bigger than any hypocrite or envious believer that did not like me. I don't give a damn who don't like me. If Allah loves me, what do I care?
We used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom. We used to stay in one room, Almighty God made room. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Boom, boom, they weren't prepared for the boom. Devils prayed for my doom, they weren't prepared for the boom.
I just have to tell him and keep it 100. All praise to Allah, I came out the junk. Know you my brother, no matter the money. Big Mac on the north and they know I'm a Muhammad. Cause we was abandoned down in the slums, yeah. 12 years old with a gun, yeah. My mama
Yes, sir, Brother Nathan. That is Brother Ben. That is Brother Ben. So now that we had the opportunity to share that out on our different platforms and, try to get it out to as many people as possible, we're going to get back to the video. Okay, so in this video, like I said, Wallo on $1 Million Worth of Game, him and Gilly are interviewing Lil Durk. And they talking about, Wallo's talking to a lot of the young brothers that's in the room because Durk got all his homeboys, everybody in the room with him. And in the process of him talking to the youth, he, thinks about what happened to him when he was younger and how life decisions that happen in the blink of an eye can have a life-altering consequence. So I want y'all to check this out, and then we're going to get more into it afterwards. But check this out, all right, family? I want y'all to feel this.
Nigga that killed my brother. My brother died in my grandma's arms. In that fucking house that we grew up in. Nigga shot my brother. He ran to the house. He died in Nanny Hall when she opened the door. So I'm telling you this some real shit, man. If I ain't let that shit go, I won't be right here today. I won't be here for my niece and my nephews. Me and Gil won't be doing this. Y'all won't know me. I won't be able to give y'all this game. But I had to leave. I had to let that shit go. When I let that shit go, nigga, I started to grow. And I started to glow. And now I'm here today, and it was harder than a motherfucker, man. And I'm talking about this my big brother, nigga. I shared the cell with him. I shared the bed with him when we was fucking kids. This little Steve. But I can tell you one thing. Now I'm out here taking care of his daughter, paying for her to go to school, taking care of my nephew, taking care of my mom and my grandmama. Talk to him. Show him. Because I forgave my brother killer, but you know, I understand. I understand what y'all going.
Wow, family. That's powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful, family, because Wallo talked about how his brother was murdered. Somebody that probably looked like us. You know, his brother being in the street, Wallo being in the street, somebody that looked like us. Shot his brother. His brother ran home to try to feel safe. Died in his grandmother's arms. And naturally, we want to retaliate. Naturally, we want to retaliate. Walaikum salam, Brother Roy. Yeah, Brother Nathan. So naturally, we want to retaliate. And Wallo said if he had retaliated and did not learn to forgive, he would not be here today doing what they doing with $1 million worth of game. And they went on to say why they target the youth, because Wallo saw so many young brothers and sisters coming in and out of that jail, coming in and out of that state prison. Wallo did 20 years in prison. He was talking about this year is going to mark 5 years that he's been home from the penitentiary. And I want to talk about this because it's a message to our youth. And it's a message to the elders as well. That our youth are out here dealing with stuff. Dealing with mental health. Dealing with the environment. And the environment is what causes or creates these circumstances for a particular reaction. And because they haven't been shown anything other than a particular reaction, this is what they do. And naturally and rightfully so, you want to retaliate against somebody who's done violence to you, who's done violence to your family. But Wallo said if I didn't let go, I wouldn't be able to be here. That's the power of forgiveness, man. That's the power of forgiveness and understanding you got a bigger purpose in life. You got a bigger purpose in life than to throw it away just for the set. To throw it away just to say you rolled on them niggas. Yeah, you rolled on them, but now you on the road to the state penitentiary. So now the devil can say, I didn't just get one nigga, I got two of them. I got a 2-for-1 deal. One of them in the ground and the other one going to a prison cell. So I want us to really think about that. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this generation is a special generation. A special generation. The Joshua generation. And that our ancestors had prayed for a generation like this, during slavery, during our time of physical oppression, degradation. Huh? The ancestors, the elders, they prayed for a generation who would not bend, a generation who was fearless. They prayed for that. Why? Because in their time, they didn't have that. And all of those who tried to stand up to white supremacy and to our slave masters, to our taskmasters, was defeated. Do you know that none of the prophets had a victory over the devil except for Jesus, the Messiah? He's the only person, the only messenger of God that actually secures a victory over Satan. The Messiah does. Nobody else. So think about it. We had 6,000 years of prophets and messengers who come and came to deliver a people who did not secure a victory over Satan. Then black people are in bondage for 310 years. And that's generation after generation after generation of children who are born into a cycle of oppression, degradation, murder, slavery. There are children that are born into this painful cycle of history. I want you to hear what I'm saying. And there was nothing that our ancestors could do about it. They would rape our mothers to create more slaves to make more money for themselves. And the Joshua generation comes as a answer to the prayers of all of our ancestors who died, who suffered under white supremacy and slavery. So this generation that you see out in the streets that's killing one another is the Joshua generation. Why are they killing so much? Because they're fearless. Death doesn't even affect them. Death doesn't even affect us. We're not afraid of that. Especially when we got a cause that we riding for, we're not afraid to die behind what we stand on. Now the problem is Satan knows this too. And because Satan knows this too, he has to redirect the energy. And what does he do? He redirects the energy so that we use that aggression against our own self. See? That's heavy. I had to give my own self a round of applause because we have the energy redirected so that we use it against our own selves. This is the plan of the enemy. He's crafty like that. And we have to know this. That's why it's important that we be up on game. That's why we have to, must to. It's incumbent upon us that we tap into the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. Because they've always warned us of the plan of the enemy. And the enemy is always taking something of good and making mischief with it. Always. So shout out to Brother Nathan. Put this comment up. It said it's like a jungle sometimes and make you wonder how to keep from going under. That's a bar. That's a lyric to a song. Yeah. It's like a jungle sometimes and make you wonder how to keep from going under. How to keep from going under. Y'all don't know about that. That's hip hop. But that's the reality of the situation. And we have to always be tuned in to the reality of the situation. Brother Mario said, young brothers, leave that death culture alone. Not all money, good money. Don't let the oppressor fool you. Black to the future. It's amazing that Brother Mario mentioned Black to the future because I was talking to a brother the other day and said, and was told that Dr. Khaled actually did that lecture and it was titled Black to the Future. So Brother Michael must have been in the building or must have saw that lecture because I just was told about that the other day. So that's amazing. But that's absolutely correct. The youth are the future, family. But the enemy understands that the Joshua generation is a fearless generation. So because they don't feel anything, they won't bend, they won't break, they won't bow to this enemy. And because they know that, they have to redirect that energy, redirect that aggression towards yourself. So you can do what? You can implode. And this is what they want for us, family. They want us to implode on ourselves. They want us to become the enemies of self so that we can never channel that aggression, channel that energy towards the real open enemy that's stopping us from our progress. The real open enemy that's stopping us from our progress, family. That's right, Brother Ibrahim. Black power. Peace, Brother Ray. What's going on? Shout out to Brother Ibrahim. Black power in the building. Shout out to everybody that is tuned in right now. Make sure you like and you share, family. Like and you share, because we want other people to get this message as well. Brother Nathan said the message. That's a fact. That's a fact. The open enemy is making sure that we channel that energy in another way. Because just imagine this. If we wake up to our true self, to the true knowledge of self, if we wake up to understand the God that lives within us and that we should love each other as brothers, the scripture says that one has passed from death into life when they love the brotherhood. I'm going to say it again. You know that one has passed from death into life when you love the brotherhood. So just imagine if we began to love the brotherhood, love the sisterhood in our communities. Huh? We got rid of all those blood versus Crip. Yeah? We got rid of all of the different beefs that was going on, city to city, block to block. We got rid of all of that and we said, hey, we're going to come together because why? We understand our value. We understand that God lives within us and we all have a role to play. We all got a part to play. And that we all have a responsibility to build and uplift our community. Now imagine if we all thought like that, the enemy's rule will be over overnight. His rule will be over overnight because now he has no longer any power over our minds. And when the power of the mind is broken, then the power over the body automatically is broken. I'm going to say it again. When the power of the mind is broken, then the ability of the enemy to control your emotions, to control your physical body is broken, family. I need you to share this out because it's extremely important. The minds of the youth are captured by the open enemy. This is why he always promoting a rapper in front of him. He always putting some type of sister in front of our young people who don't have no clothes on. Why? Because he keeping the mind in perpetual revolution, in foolishness and in falsehood, in sin and in degradation. Keeping the mind there in that place so the mind can never wake up to the truth. So the mind can never wake up to what's really going on, cannot wake up and see the plan of the open enemy, which is to keep us divided. But if they understand that the idea is unity in the community, then we will wake up overnight, family. We will wake up overnight if we just understand that it's unity in the community. So for those who are just coming in, I'm your brother King Cam. I'm the host of the Campaign TV show. Tonight, we're talking about the effect of violence on black youth. I shared and showed a video of Wallo on his interview, $1 million worth of game, where he was interviewing Lil Durk. And in that interview with Lil Durk, he talked about how when he was younger, he saw his brother murdered. His brother was murdered inside of the house that they grew up in, and that he had a decision to make. And if he had not been able to forgive his brother's killer, he would not be here doing $1 million worth of game. How many of us have been lost to that cycle? How many of us know a cousin, know a brother, know a friend, a family member who is lost to that cycle? Why? Because we couldn't let go. We couldn't forgive. We couldn't rise above emotion into the thinking of God. But we made a decision based on emotion, based on what others around us were saying, based on our environment and how we saw fit to respond. We made that decision, and ultimately that decision led us down a path, down a road of destruction. Now, our fathers, uncles, brothers doing 20, 30, 40, life in prison behind a decision. And this is what our young people are faced with today. Why? Because in the environment that they grow up in, they don't see anything else. They don't know anything about conflict resolution. So the only way they know to resolve conflict is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, which is the principle of the Bible. But the problem is with utilizing that principle in that way against yourself, you become an enemy of self. Thus, the real enemy doesn't even have to do the work. He can continue to use the hidden hand. He can continue to use the hidden hand, family. And that's what we have to combat. We have to combat the hidden hand that is heavily and constantly in our community. See? So shout out to everybody that's in the comment section. Brother Roy Robinson, Brother Nathan Fields, Brother Mario, Brother Ibrahim, Brother Ray Robinson, Sister Cassandra. Organize that energy by reaching out to the youth. Absolutely. Brother Rafiq, assalamu alaikum, president of the men and women with the boots on the grounds in Durham, North Carolina. Shout out to the good brother who's here. Man, I got to get him up on the screen right there, Brother Rafiq. Absolutely. We have to organize that energy. We must organize that energy. Why? Because it's necessity. It's necessity and it's necessary. It's necessity and it's necessary for us to do so, because we cannot depend on our open enemy to protect us, to feed us, to clothe us, to educate us. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if they won't treat you right, they won't teach you right. If they won't treat you right, they won't teach you right. So we can't expect them to educate us properly. We can't expect them to put food on our back. We should not continue to do that. We cannot continue for them to put food on the table, clothes on our back, a roof over our head. Any of those things. We have to become self-sufficient. We have to become self-sufficient. So for those who are just coming into the chat, just coming in to the live stream, I want to show and pull up the video again of Wallo giving his testimony really on $1 million worth of game, hoping and praying that Lil Durk and those who are around him get and understand the message, family, because it's very important. A lot of us didn't have those prominent father figures growing up. We didn't have that uncle, that OG that gave us any wisdom, any game that was beneficial to us. One thing that Wallo said was they gave us game and they gave us gems and things that was beneficial for them. They told us stuff to amp us up and to rile us up so that we could be beneficial to them, but nobody gave any good game to be beneficial to us. And that's how it is still to this day. Especially after the 94 crime bill, thank you to your president, with the assistance of your vice president helping to lock black men up. This is what happened. So now when you took the fathers out of the home, when you took the uncles and the brothers out of the home that was there to help raise the level of consciousness in the household, in the community, then you got a lot of young brothers who don't know the G code. You got a lot of young brothers that's in the streets, that's in the gangs, that don't know how things supposed to go, and no OGs telling them this is what you need to do, family. This is what you need to do. This is how you should move out here. Nobody telling them how to do that, and this is what's happening. So let me pull up that video. Y'all can check out the video. Let me pull it up again because I want the new people to be able to see it as well. So let me pull this up, and then I want to full screen it for y'all. Boom. And then we're going to listen to this. And it's important, man. Shout out to Brother Ben X for the clip. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us about the 8 steps of atonement, which is forgiveness. And we have to learn to forgive. That's one of the basic principles, one of the foundational principles that I got from this message from Wallo is forgiveness equals healing. So listen to this again.
Nigga that killed my brother. My brother died in my grandma's arms. That fucking house that we grew up in. Nigga shot my brother. He ran to the house. He died in Nanny Harms when she opened the door. So I'm telling you, this some real shit, man. If I ain't let that shit go, I won't be right here today. I won't be here for my niece and my nephews. Me and Gil won't be doing this. Y'all won't know me. I won't be able to give y'all this game. But I had to leave. I had to let that shit go. When I let that shit go, nigga, I started to grow. And I started to glow. And now I'm here today, and it was harder than a motherfucker, man. And I'm talking about this my big brother, nigga. I shared the cell with him. I shared the bed with him when we was fucking kids. This little Steve. But I can tell you one thing. Now I'm out here taking care of his daughter, paying for her to go to school, taking care of my nephew, taking care of my mama and my grandmama.
Talk to him. Sure.
Because I forgave my brother killer, but you know, I understand. I understand what y'all going.
Yeah, family. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. How many of us would be able to forgive the killer of our brother, the killer of our sister, the killer of any of our family members? But forgiveness is so powerful. He said, when I let that go, I began to glow and I began to grow, which means what? That God expanded his breast. So he was able to let that go. And then the God opened up doors and opportunities so that he can be able to be a living testimony to the power of God and the power of his forgiveness. Because he knew, Wallo understood, maybe not at that time when he did it, but he definitely understands now that that brother that did that was not in his right mind. That brother was a product of his environment. He was a product of his community. He was a product of what he saw in the household growing up. So he wasn't in his righteous self when he killed his brother. And we have to understand that. And I can't stand those elders that try to judge and try to talk about the youth as if we or those who came before us, not we, because I wasn't with them. Let me get that clear. I won't with the elders, contributing to this madness. No. I'm one of the youth looking at the elders like, what's up? What's going on with you? Because you want to come to us and talk about how our pants sagging, how we listening to this music, how we dancing, how we doing how we doing music and all this kind of stuff. But you not coming to us and telling us no other way. You're not coming to us and telling us this how it needs to be done, other than the fact that we should go get some job and go sit on the plantation and work for somebody else for 40, 50 years and don't have anything to show for it. Man, the hell with that. We ain't trying to hear none of that, and the youth ain't trying to hear none of that. That's why they not listening to none of the elders. The elders don't have the streets no more. The rappers got the streets. The entertainers got the streets. But thank Allah for these platforms like social media. Now we can get the ear of the youth. Now we can get the ear of the young ones coming up in the street and the gang members and even ones that's our age. That's not listening to none of them other people that's coming into their community, but somebody that they can relate to, somebody they can see that's actually doing something positive and using these tools that we've been given on social media to actually promote a positive message and say, yes, I can tap into that. Yes, I can relate to that. I can relate to that brother. I can relate to that sister. That's why it's so important. Sister Cassandra says that is the real fear for the enemy, us being unified and forward thinking. Absolutely. Can't reach him through judgment. That's right, Sister Cassandra. Yes, sir, Brother Nathan. What is the purpose of the 10% rich? That's right, slave makers of the poor. They're bloodsuckers of the poor. They're also bloodsuckers of the poor, and that's what they do. They create this media. They create these narratives. They create these conditions. They're the masters of these conditions. They created the communities and the neighborhoods that black people stay in. Then they also deprived the community of economic opportunity. So now we are all lumped together with no economic opportunity, living in poverty, food deserts, and then expect the aggression not to be on 1,000. And what happened? We had that aggression towards one another because we haven't been taught properly how to deal with the enemy and fight him. So we fight one another and we kill one another. And Satan has been doing this to the righteous since his creation. Ever since he was created, in 6 months, he was led into the Holy Land, and he began to cause the shedding of blood in the Holy Land amongst the righteous, because he was what? He was telling lies. He was telling lies. What do they do in our community but come in and tell lies? They come in and create a false narrative. They tell you that the black youth are violent, that the black youth is no hope for them. They blame it on all the rappers, when the rappers have no control over the direction of the music that they make when you sign to a major label. But guess what? The God plan, on top of the plans of Satan, and on top of those plans of Satan, God said, this is why I got this social media right here now. Because guess what? Now you can go independent. So now you got a lot of the brothers now that's coming up as artists. Now they going independent. You got a lot of people that's in every industry that's going independent. Comedians going independent. Music artists going independent. Everybody being able to control their own destiny because of the power of social media. So for those who like to condemn social media, think about that. Social media is actually freeing a lot of people. So I wanted us to really understand that point. And I really wanted to think about that, because I've been listening to the clip, and I just kept listening to it over and over and over and over again. And I felt that, because I'm like, man, I don't even know how I would react to seeing or knowing that my brother was murdered in the same house that we grew up in my grandmother's arms. And you had to forgive the killer. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just saying, it's not the killer that's not gonna wear that. It's gonna be you that got to wear that. And when you walk around with that burden on your heart and on your mind, it shows. It's reflective in your behavior. It shows. It's reflective in your mindset. And ultimately, people make decisions based out of that emotion. And when they make decisions based out of that emotion, sometimes and oftentimes not, it puts us in a situation that we never able to recover from. We never able to recover from. Sister Cassandra said, when they originated the violence and keep the violent nature. That's a fact. And this is why tuning in to the Nation of Islam each and every Sunday at NOI.org is so important. That's why reading your Final Call newspaper is so important, because we got to understand the origin of this stuff. We got to know that it's in the nature of the Caucasian people to originate violence. I mean, that is their nature, is violence, confusion, and falsehood, thievery, robbery, pillaging, and death. This is what they do. It's not nowhere in their history where there was never no confusion. But our people mistake them for friends and take them for friends. And this is why we constantly get tripped up, because we don't have a thorough knowledge of our enemy. So you have to. I ain't say you got to agree on every point. You ain't got to become a registered member of the Nation of Islam, but you do have a fiduciary duty to at least tune in to black platforms like this one, tune in to black platforms in the black media, such as the Final Call newspaper, so that you're able to tap in and get that knowledge and get that wisdom, so that you'll know. That's the whole purpose, is that you know and that you equipped so that you can be able to move differently and not fall in the traps that Satan has laid set for us. Does that make sense? Am I making sense, family? Am I making sense? Sister Cassandra, am I making sense? Because I'm getting ready to close down to 10. I said I wasn't going to keep y'all on tonight, but I wanted to share this because I thought it was a point that needed to be speak on. And it's a lot more things that we're going to be discussing. If you would like to, Sister Jasmine, if you would like to join the podcast community, what you can do is you can text the word podcast to 404-737-1030. It's scrolling across the bottom. You can join the podcast community by texting the word podcast to 404-737-1030, where you'll get all the updates for podcasts. You'll get your latest Final Call newspaper that's coming out. You get all types of information that I keep circulating inside of the community. And normally we also send out the links for the show as well. So when we don't do impromptu shows, you get a link for the show. We'll have a special show that's going to be going down Friday. This upcoming Friday, I'm going to have special guest hosts, Malcolm Flex and Brother Evan, on to discuss a particular topic that we're going to be going over on Friday. It's going to be really, really, really good. So I should have the flyer tomorrow, inshallah, if it be the will of Allah. And we'll start promoting that, circulating that, so y'all can be tapped in for Friday's show, because it's going to be special. But I wanted to talk about that tonight. Also got an event that's going to be coming up in May. As the details unfold, we're going to be discussing it here on the show as well, because we definitely want to keep everybody informed. But it's so important that you get on the text list. All right, so text a podcast to 404-737-1030 so you can get on the list and you can get tapped in. All right, family. So, man, with that, man, we're going to go ahead and end the show for tonight. Certainly appreciate everybody tuning in. And may God continue to bless each and every one of you as you continue on your week. And God willing, we'll see you Friday for our special show. All right, peace and blessings.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man.